my channel. I'm Laura Pantin of Learning Bilingually. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you some online resources in Spanish that I found to be both useful when I'm in the classroom and through distance learning with my students. By no means is this an exhaustive list of resources, but just some of my favorites that I thought I'd share with you guys. So the first set of websites that I'm going to share with you guys all have to do with Spanish books online. The first website is uniteforliteracy.com. When you first enter the website, as you can see, everything is in English, but if you click over here where it says English, you can switch the language to Español, Spanish. It's that easy. All the books will then transfer over to Spanish, and what I love about this website is two main things, besides it being free, is that the books are categorized by topics and that there is a narration option for students to hear the book if they can't read it just yet or want to follow along. So the categories, as you can see, nuevos y favoritos, animales, vamos afuera, aprendemos, creamos y jugamos, plantas y comida, tierra y cielo, comunidad, familia, amigos, mi salud, tecnología y letras para volar. There are a ton of books in each category. And as I mentioned, there is a narration option down here so the student can listen to the book being read to them. Great, great resource and website. The next one is readconmigo.org. This website provides downloadable bilingual books for your students to access at home. It also has great content for parents and educators to support students and parents to support their children at home. You can view the whole website in Spanish, and then you can click here for books, get free books, and it does require you to make an account and sign up, but it is free, and you get to start downloading bilingual books right away, and you can see a sample right here. Great website as well. The next one is a website from Colombia, maguare.gov.co. And this website is super beautiful. It has a lot of great content. You can have over here, escuchar, ver, leer, cantar, bailar, and even games and different activities in Spanish for your students. Great vivid imagery and videos for the children. For example, if we go to leer, you will have some book options here. As you can see, all of these book options to view, and they are really beautiful, beautiful books. Another great website that is free as well. The next one is willbooks.com. This website does have some ads, so you just have to navigate around that. But when you go to the main page, there will be an announcement over here that talks about these free resources. We're going to click here, and what it shows us is if we scroll down all these categories, so they have books in English as well, but on the bottom there's this Español. So that's what we want to click. And it shows us that they have libros en español for preescolar, kindergarten, primer grado, y segundo grado. I'm going to click on segundo grado so you can see. And it has a nice little selection of books for students to view and read on the computer as well. The next website is Reading A to Z. So Reading A to Z is part of Learning A to Z. It does require a yearly subscription, which I have paid to use in my classroom because I find that it has so many resources in Spanish and books for guided reading and different activities, and even to send home with students if you print out the books. So once you log in, if you have your account, you search Spanish and you'll get all these options: Spanish level books, authentic Spanish books, songs and rhymes, fiction series, and math books. I love the Spanish level books and the authentic Spanish books. Authentic meaning, just as it sounds, they are not translated. The other Spanish level books, most of them are translations, but they are still a great resource, and there are a ton of books. So these level books, as you can see, there's from a pre-reading AA level all the way to past Z. So for your very, very early young learners to your already great learners, but obviously you got to continue to read. So let's just click here on level L. As you can see, there are a ton of books for each level. They show you the lexile level, the genre, more specifics about the book. And once you click, you can also even get activities and reading comprehension questions and different things for each book. So it is a great, very comprehensive resource. And these are the books that I usually use during guided reading because they are already differentiated and leveled for you. And there are so many for each level that you can really provide that multitude of resources and books and activities for your students. So this is a great website, Reading A to Z. It does require a subscription. The next website is Get Epic, or Epic Books for Kids at getepic.com. I am in my dashboard right now because I do have a teacher account, which was free. Teacher accounts are free. But just to show you, they have a ton of great books in Spanish, really high interest level books as well as informative books. So I've made kind of some folders in my library, as you can see, with different categories of subjects that I teach. So we have some books categorized by the science topic. We have Punto de Vista. We have social studies, more science, biographies, animal books, space books, community helpers, so many different topics. There are a multitude of options. And it is a great website because as a teacher, you can assign books, and then you can also create quizzes for those books if you want to provide a quiz for the students for comprehension purposes, or just assign books for students to read. And this is a great resource if they have access to technology at home to be able to read those books at home. Now, these were kind of the online books websites, and now I want to share just some interactive websites that have fun games and other activities to really develop those literacy skills in Spanish and oral language. So the first is audibleabc.com. So audibleabc.com. It does have some ads, this free version, but it is a great website. As you can see, it's kind of categorized by age groups. So you have exploradores, 3 to 5 years old, curiosos, 5 to 7, and lectores, 7 to 10. I'm gonna click curiosos just to kind of see their options, but they have games and activities for lenguaje, matemáticas, inglés, so they have English content as well. Canciones, librería y diversión. So el lenguaje, great vowel, alphabet, letter, word games, syllable games, math, a ton of resources as well. All these are math, games, English games as well. Just fun games here for them to enjoy and still work with the Spanish language, but those fun games. And then I love this part because it's La Librería. So these books are made according to kind of the syllable groups in Spanish. So La Letra L, this book has a lot of la, le, li, lo, lu syllables. So once you're teaching the syllable combinations, you can provide this as extra practice at home for your children and your students to read. Or you can even make it interactive during guided reading and read these books together. The books also have the option of being read together. So we can read together or read by yourself. The next website is mundoprimaria.com. So Mundo Primaria has a ton of content and resources for all grade levels. As you can see, all these tabs up here: juegos, cuentos, mitos y leyendas, fábulas, dibujos, lecturas, and games, and kind of just practice activities in Spanish. There's also printables for teachers. So this is kind of an also comprehensive website with a lot. It's a lot to go through, but if you have something in mind that you're looking for, this would be a great place to search. So mundoprimaria.com. The next website is juegosinfantiles.bosquedefantasías.com. So this website, as it says, Juegos Infantiles para Niños de Primaria. There are a ton of games and really just interactive activities for your children to work. This could be something you assign at a center if you're in the classroom. And if you're distance learning, this could be something you assign as part of your children's weekly checklist of activities. You just have to specify where they find it in these tabs or send them the direct link. So it could work either way. Lengua, matemáticas, artes, ciencias naturales, ciencias sociales, infantil, fichas educativas. So there's a ton of resources. And in lengua, they have ortografía, vocabulario, gramática, comprensión lectora. So let's just click on gramática. And then juegos de gramática. So they have different like subjects that you'd be teaching and having them practice. So this is a great way for them to just get that extra practice on their own. So if you're in the classroom, it could just be a center activity that maybe they finish their main activity, and then this is kind of like the games afterwards. Or through distance learning, assigning a specific, like, okay, today you're doing the sustantivos games, or however you kind of want to organize it. The next website is Rockalinguacom. So this website, you can subscribe, but there is a lot of free content as well. They have, as you can see here, videos, games, songs, worksheets, picture dictionaries. The videos are beautiful. The games are super fun for the students and very interactive. As you can see, there is some free content and there's some content that would be part of a subscription, but you have videos, and they really work on helping with that language in Spanish, that vocabulary, which is so important for all children to really work on and practice. So Rockalinguacom, a great website as well. Very beautiful. The next two websites that I want to share are math websites. So these are websites for students to practice math skills in Spanish. So the first one is khanacademy.org. Now, Khan Academy is very well known, but it has everything in Spanish, and it makes my teacher heart so happy. So this is my own account because I made it for my students when I taught 4th grade this year. But if you make an account, free account, and then you go to cursos, my whole dashboard is in Spanish as well. It just is because I'm a dual language Spanish teacher. But cursos, so the courses, all of this is available in Spanish. So you have from really kindergarten to 12th grade math in Spanish available by standards, by the content that you would be teaching and need to teach in those grades. There's also science, higher level science, higher level math. There's so much content available and great practice. It provides videos. You can take practice examples and tests and things like that. And the teacher can see the progress as well. So let's just click on 2nd grade to see. So here you have the topics that you would cover in 2nd grade and activities for it. So if you click Empieza, let's just say for valor posicional, then it breaks it down to, okay, here's a video explaining it, then you practice, then there's another video, then there's a practice. So it's really interactive, and it is great just practice for the students with these skills. And for distance learning, however next year is gonna look, this website is great to assign things for your students to really get that extra practice on their own. After you've done your lesson and you've taught what the topic is, it's great practice for them to just continue working. And the next website is Splash Learn. So this is a great website. We are on my dashboard right now. I used it when I taught kindergarten dual language, and now I used it this past year teaching 4th grade dual language. So I have here for 1st grade just to see. So you can do assignments, assessments. There's a whole amount of resources here for you to access. So if you go to assignments and you want to assign something specifically, so let's say you go here, new assignment. Well, you're teaching measurements. So you click measurements, but then you want to assign something to the specific skill of measurements that you're teaching that day or that week or however. So you would click, here are the 2 skills. So order objects by length or measure length of objects. So you click one of them, and then you would assign to the whole class, assign to selected students. So it really shows you also the breakdown of how each student did on each assignment. So you can see, oh, well, Johnny over here had trouble with these skills, so I'm gonna actually pull him for a group on those skills. And this also works virtually, because Johnny and Clarissa and Lucia and Jorge all had problems with this skill. I can then have them meet with me through a video, through Zoom or whatever it is, and do a small group that way. So this is a great way for you to be able to still get those kind of small tailored groups, because you're seeing how they're doing on a specific grade level math skills. The next 2 websites have to do with reading comprehension. They're both very different, but I will share them. commonlit.org has been a great tool that I've discovered as I've been doing distance teaching and learning, but that I will continue to use no matter what schooling looks like next year. So because I teach dual language, I have 2 groups of students. So I created 2 classes, so you can create however many classes you have. As you can see, I just named one of my classes Minions and Pandas. And then you can also assign based on the class, assign to students, however you wish. You go to library and then you go all the way down to Spanish text. You see they have so many Spanish texts. This website is for grades 3 to 12. As you can see here, I just put Spanish and there's 486 results. That makes me so happy. But it is for grades 3rd grade to 12th grade. So if I just click on 4th grade, for example, we'll see all the texts that are available. There's a long list of informational literature texts. And when you go in, for example, let's just do La verdadera historia de los tres cerditos. When you go in, you can, some of them allow you to download the PDF, which is a great option. You assign the text, there's guiding questions, there's assessment questions that they answer after, and there's also an open-ended question where they have to use text-based evidence and make connections to their own life. So I love this website. It really goes with the standards as well and with what grade you are teaching. So it's a great website, quick information and data for you as well. Just kind of like I said with Splash Learn and even Khan Academy, you can see where students may be struggling and pull smaller groups, whether it's in person in the classroom or through distance learning. The next website is Lingua.com. So I recently discovered this website, and this is more for reading comprehension, but tailored to that second language kind of process. So if you are in a dual language program and your target language is Spanish, you click on Spanish, and you can have students, look, there's all these texts, and then they have comprehension questions with them. So it's just a good extra practice, I would say, for home, more so maybe than just the classroom, but you have your little text here, and then you have comprehension questions. The next 3 websites have to do with grammar in Spanish. So the first website is conjuguemos.com. This is my teacher dashboard, and it is a website that requires a subscription. I don't remember exactly how much it is, but it is not a huge amount. It is very worth it. I started using this website in 4th grade this year because I was seeing that my students needed help with just verb conjugations, just general grammar in Spanish. This website makes it so fun because, let's just example over here Spanish. There's a ton of other languages, as you can see. But if we click on verbs, which is that, verbs can be very daunting to teach and not so exciting. So, this provides great practice. And what it is that students can play against each other a variety of games. And that's what my students love. So I will show you example, present tense, regular verbs only. So they have a graded practice, flashcards, and games. So what I had my students do after I did a little mini lesson or activity is I would have them just play games for a couple of minutes each day. And then Friday or, after 2 weeks or however much they needed to practice, I would give them the graded practice, and then that automatically you get an email and you see what they scored. And again, it gives you that data that you can then use to pull smaller groups or just conference with your students to help them out further. The games, there's a ton of games. Verb Battleship, kids have so much fun with this. They're literally playing against another member of the class. So the 2 friends can play against each other, and they don't have to be sitting near each other. They, can be in their assigned seats or however, but they play against each other, and it's super fun to get really competitive. And they are practicing those verb conjugations, because if they don't get the verb conjugation right, they are not beating their friend. So it is a great website that students really have enjoyed. The next website is reglasdeortografia.com. This one has some ads and things going on. There's a lot going on, but it has a lot of specific practice problems for kind of tricky things in Spanish for our students. So for example, if I go just to sonidos kakoku, for example, right here, it'll give you some information, and then a ton of practice. So it really just, again, that repetition and practice is great. This, I would say, again, is something that you could have for early finishers of a center or an activity, or, you know, your main activity, and then they continue practicing, or for at home as well. The next website is aprenderespañol.org. This website, again, that practice. It has gramática, verbos, vocabulario, lecturas, cuentos, dictados. It has a lot of options, but again, it's that extra practice. And this could be a center. This could be if they finish a center, and or just assigned to practice at home. But for example, if I do gramática, then let's just say we're working on adjetivos. Let me just put gramática here. And then you have all the things for gramática that they provide: diptongos, la tilde, la acentuación, singular y plural. So example, I'm teaching, you know, singular and plural. All these are practice exercises. So if I were to click on one, it tells you what to do, and it even gives you that, remember, this is how we make words plural in Spanish. So you'd have to, okay, niños. So how would it be plural in Spanish? And you click it, and then you, you know, you see what score you got, and then you do more exercises. So great, great website. And last but not least, a great website for practicing oral language in Spanish. And especially, I've implemented it now with distance learning, but I will continue to use it no matter what learning looks like next year. I love, love, love this website, is Flipgrid.com. So Flipgrid.com is basically, you create an account. I created my teacher account, and then I imported I created kind of student accounts, and they all got student IDs. So it's a very private, it's private. They have to log into my grid. So this is the grid, using their student ID. What I do is that I create questions for them, and they have to create a video answering them in Spanish. It's fun because you can add text, you can add emojis. It's super fun. You can add a filter. So it's very social media-ish, like our kids love, but it has been a great practice for my students just speaking Spanish. And all the grids and all the questions that I ask and that I make are things where they're connecting to their own lives. So I've made grids or topics where they, you know, teach me something. So they created videos teaching how to make smoothies and how to draw this and how to do this exercise, and really, really creative. And of course I model and I make my own video, but I also tell my students, this is a great opportunity for you to look at the question, formulate a response, write it down if it helps you, practice it, and then do your video. So you're getting kind of that presentation and that oral language in Spanish. What I love is that they have a disco library, which is all these topics already made for you. Most of them I've seen are in English, but you pick one and then you can transfer it to your grid and you can translate it. And that's what I've done with a ton of them, is use what's out there and just translated it to Spanish and made it super fun. So even this one that we did last week, mis cuatro favoritas de cuarto grado, so they have to come up with their 4 favorite things of 4th grade. So there really is a ton of options, and the kids, I honestly really enjoy it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been helpful. If you have any other really great websites you want to share, please share them in the comments below. Please remember to like this video and to subscribe to my channel for more content on dual language education. Bye, everyone.